Hello, everyone, and welcome to AlphaMind Hypnosis Coaching Series. My name is Elena Mosaner. I am a hypnotherapist and professional coach. In this weekly series, you're going to watch me work with a client as I help them resolve a specific issue or problem. I will coach them to help them discover their own insight and knowledge and sometimes solution to a problem. And I will hypnotize them at the end of the session. So many of you have asked me how hypnosis works and what happens during a session. So during this series, you will actually witness me hypnotize a client. Now, of course, this will be a shortened version of the session. It's not going to be an hour hypnosis session. In fact, it's going to be a very short 10 to 15 minute hypnosis part. Before that, we're going to talk for about half an hour, sometimes maybe 40 minutes, but usually about half an hour of pre-talk to help me understand what the client needs, what their goal is. So that's a very important part of hypnosis session, just so you know. And today we have Kelly on the line. I have worked with her before previously, so she came back to me, and here we are. Hello, Kelly. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Very good, very good. So thank you so much for being part of this, for willing
Thank
to
you.
share and be part of this series. So you and I have worked before. Tell me how everything is going. We did a session about a couple of weeks ago, and what's been happening?
So we did a session regarding sugar cravings that I've basically had all my life that have led to bad health. And after seeing a doctor, eventually I need to improve my health for fertility reasons, specifically now that I'm older and I'm married and my life is going in a certain direction. And your sugar cravings, your help has completely, every suggestion that you made has set in so profoundly. It's unbelievable. I'm blown away by the effect every single time I listen to it. And how I was never the person who was able to say no to a cookie or a donut, or if it's a celebration, a sugary drink when I'm out, at a bar with friends. And now I'm able to just have maybe one drink, and it's usually a liquor and a soda, which I was never able to drink before. It would have to be something super sugary and pre-mixed. I have basically lost all of my sugar cravings. Food, whole foods taste better to me now than they ever have before. When I'm able to cook and when I'm able to eat things that I never really enjoyed, or maybe I never even gave the time to something like asparagus or Brussels sprouts, certain vegetables, I really have this new profound appreciation for them. And just it's indescribable the way that things taste differently, because I was able to drop and kick this sugar habit now for almost a month. I mean, it's been at least 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Which I've never experienced it before.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that, Kelly. You're doing the work, and in reality, it's. I always tell my clients it's a partnership. So when people come to me and say, I want to stop smoking, or I want to stop eating sugar, and let's see how it works. Some people, I heard that hypnosis can work for me. I want to stop doing this for my husband, my boyfriend, my wife, whatever. But let's see how it works. That's not the kind of attitude we're looking for. You were absolutely certain. You knew you wanted it. You had all the right reasons to make the change in your life. So I did my 50%. You're doing your 50%. All I did is I was providing you the tools and guidance and hypnotic processes to help you achieve your outcome. And I think,
absolutely,
yeah. And so congratulations. And what you said you were able to even lose a few pounds?
I'm down about 10 pounds from when we spoke, which is less than a month ago, about 3 weeks or so. I'm down 10 pounds.
Well, great. Continue to listen to the audio that we've recorded for you, and know that do look into this 7 audio set that I have on my website, alphamindmethod.com, and choose whatever audio you want, and I'll send you a complimentary link. So just to reinforce, maybe for eating slowly or craving healthy foods. This way you can also, add a little more there in your program.
Okay.
But let's talk about what's on your mind today. So there's something else you want to work on. Let's be very focused here in talking about your expectation at the end of this session. What would you like to walk out with?
So at the end of this session, my current issue right now is I'm a student. I'm a court reporting student. It's very focused type of career, and you need to have very focused practice for a good amount of hours every single day. It's described as the closest thing is playing piano. So you can't go and expect to be a professional piano player and perform in front of an audience, which is essentially what will happen when you achieve the status of court reporter at the speed that you're supposed to be writing at. And people are relying on you, and it's a very important field because you're creating a legal record and a legal document that will basically be around forever.
Yeah.
So my issue right now is it's very difficult, and I'm having trouble with motivation only because I've gotten very high up into the classes as far as when I'm supposed to finish school. I'm only 2 classes away, and I've come so far in school so far that I can't see myself leaving, and it would really be a disappointment for me if I had to leave school just because of my lack of focus and lack of motivation, which has always been an issue for me. As soon as something gets hard, I basically lose my motivation, I lose my focus, and I make excuses for myself as to, to make myself feel better why I should, maybe stop practicing or why I should stop studying, and maybe there are more important things. But the reality of it is that this is very important. It's going to be a career. It's going to be income for my husband and myself to eventually buy a house that we both love, and to move and to start a family. So I really need to gain some focus, and I think that you could really be helpful in doing so.
So I hear that you are quite determined. You actually know what you want. You're very clear. You're very concise about what you want. You're determined. There's so many benefits. First of all, you're gonna feel proud of yourself. It's your career. It's income, and also it leads to you and your husband having a house for your family, for your family, your kids, and it's very important to you, right, to have that nest.
It's extremely important, and it gives me anxiety to think about losing the opportunity that I've come so far in already just because of my lack of motivation and to study and to practice, which has just basically been a constant throughout my entire life.
A constant throughout your entire life? What do you mean by
motivation?
The motivation. So this is something
motivation and willpower. I mean, and the weight loss, the sugar addiction was definitely tied into this motivation, this willpower. I just need a push, and I need positive reinforcement.
Okay.
To really do something that I want to do.
Okay, great. Oh, great. We're on the right track. Now, what's stopping you now from completing the school, which is, you said you're 2 classes short, right?
Yes.
You said
I'm in the second to last class, so technically, once I finish this class, which could happen very soon, I only need one more class.
One more class. I just have to 1 second. I have to log. And I have to charge my computer.
Okay.
1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So
that's okay.
What's stopping you is the lack of motivation, willpower, and you're almost done. What's the percentage? Let's say you've done 70% of education to be a court reporter. 60%. What is it?
Probably further. I mean, 80%. Probably.
That's a
Yeah,
big number. That's a very big number. So just
I
a little
know.
push, 20%, and you're gonna have your certification, you're gonna have your experience and opportunity to make more money, and
Hmm.
you know, you're moving towards having a nice home and
And
stability.
feeling great about myself as well.
Exactly, and feeling great about yourself. So there are lots of benefits. So what's stopping is the lack of power and motivation. Is there anything else that's stopping you?
Um, I let things stop me as far as uh, things go, as far as like, I'll cook instead of practice. And my husband really is the biggest cheerleader when it comes to my schooling and my practicing. He'll say, I'll cook tonight, I'll take care of it. I just let things stop me that are unnecessary.
Okay.
I do have a part-time job. But I do have time to practice, and I can make the time to practice. But for whatever reason, I do not prioritize it, and it's just because I've come to a point in school where it's become really difficult, and I really need a push. And I guess only because I get turned off because it's so difficult, and because things have usually come very easy to me throughout my schooling career. I was very smart when I was a kid. I put much effort into studying and practicing, and this is something that anybody can do it. You don't have to be smart. You have to be determined. You have to be motivated, and you have to give it the time, 100%.
Okay, so you have the time. It's not like you don't have the time. You have all the necessary foundation to actually study. Even
Correct.
your fiance, right?
My husband.
Your husband, sorry. Your husband is even supportive to you. He said, "I'll cook.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do this thing." So you have your time. Okay. So you have everything you need to finish. It's just you are the one who's not allowing yourself,
Just
right?
me.
You're
Yes.
your own biggest enemy. Okay. So we're gonna come up with a set of good suggestions
Okay.
to help you move forward, to help you move into that phase where you'll finish, complete the school. And this is something that you truly want for yourself. I wanted to be sure that this is not against your will, because sometimes when people come to me with procrastination or lack of motivation, they say, you know, I just want to go to that school, but I'm not doing it. And in reality, that's not really what they want to do, or that's something that they, you know, they're, maybe the parents want them to do. So we're kind of working against the will and against what they really truly want.
Right.
In that sense, hypnosis really doesn't quite work, because you know, the person actually wants to be an artist, and they just always wanted to be an artist, but their mom wants them to have a steady job and be a software engineer, for example. So we have to go for the essence. And it seems
Right.
like you're clear, and you're really like almost done with school, and there's a lot of clarity and determination here. You really want it for yourself, right? Not for your husband,
Yes.
mom, or anybody else.
Not for my husband, not for my mom. I do want to be successful, and I do want my husband to be proud of me, and I want my parents to be proud of me and my family, but I need to be proud of myself.
Right.
And I need to complete something for once. It seems every single time something gets super difficult, I will get interested in something else and move on completely to something else. But that's not an option right now, only because I know that if I tried to move on to this, then I would just be, starting out something else and then not finishing it once it gets hard enough to no longer keep my interest.
So yeah. So this is good. We have clarity. We know what the outcome is now. How will you accomplish this? Let's talk about this, so that when you're hypnotized, I'm going to give it to your subconscious mind. How many hours a day do you need to study? And how many hours a week do you need to study? And how many months altogether do you need to complete your studies? So let's start with the day, month, week, month, and
days. It's best. You speak to different professors, and the guidelines that they typically say is 3 hours a day. That's a little bit that's too much of a high expectation for me, just because I do work and I don't go to school part-time. So they tell students that have families and that are a little bit more advanced as far as their experience goes, that aren't younger full-time students, that at least a good hour of unbroken practice is great. If you can do something, do an hour of completely unbroken, focused practice time on your machine. And then there's also different parts of, if you can't physically be writing on your machine, which is a very expensive device, let's say you're out in public, you can be commuting and, building your dictionary as far as stenography words go, since it is a different language, basically. And then as far as a week goes, 18 hours or so in a week. If I was unable to do, let's say, one day I have a busier schedule than typical, I have a doctor's appointment or something, then I would like to pick up and make up those extra hours on days that I have off, like a Friday or a Saturday or Sunday, when I have ample time.
But 18 hours a week means, 2.5 hours a day, no? Like 2 hours a day or something?
Around there is what's really, they say, is the best. However, if you see, I'm very all or nothing. So if I know that I can't do 2.5 hours that day, I'll do nothing, which is not the best thing to do. If you cannot do the amount of time that is the best time to do, you should be putting in what you can.
Yeah.
And I just tell myself, okay, I don't have enough time today to practice for 2.5 hours, 2 hours. I'm not even going to open my machine. Right. I'll do nothing.
So we have to change that. We need to change that because we can't have an attitude all or nothing, because it has to be at least something, at least an hour,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
100%.
So then we're talking about how many hours a week, the minimum and maximum.
So I would like to do at least an hour a day. So, I don't know, I guess between 15 and 18 hours a week, or 15 and 20, fluctuating.
If you're doing at least an hour a day, we only have 7 days in a week. Would you do it every day?
I would do it every single day.
So that's 7 hours. 7 hours is minimum, right?
Yeah, that's minimum, but
I know it sounds
needs to be higher than that.
I know, it has to be. How many hours did you do last week?
None.
So imagine if you did
None.
7. Imagine if you did 7 hours. It would have been better than nothing, right?
Of course it would. It would have been a million times better than nothing. And I've had professional court reporters tell me this. I've had my instructors who are professional, either retired or still fully working, and they just teach at night. Court reporters, if you know that you cannot do the required time, you should at least put in 20 minutes. If you can't put in, the hour, put in 20 or put in a half hour. You have to do something, because the longer you're on your machine, it's muscle memory.
Exactly.
With your hands. It's your brain and your body just functions so much better when you're doing it every day.
So muscle memory, and also there's resistance right now. I'm sensing resistance to be on the machine. Yes. It's almost like a chore. So you want it to be something that you want to do. I'm excited. I want to do it. And and it's the work for your hands. It can be a good thing, right? It's good for your hands.
Yes.
It's good for your brain. It's a good thing. It really is development. Your brain is working. Your hands are working. You're doing something for you. Okay.
Right.
So muscle memory, focus, attention.
Muscle memory, focus. And one last thing I should mention is in court reporting, when you initially start out, you start out with classes called theory, and you have 2 semesters of this theory that's basically the language. So if you were learning a new language, it would be, hi, hello, how are you? It's very, very simple. And then they put you on the machine, and you're really just learning the different keys. But as you progress, it's speed, and then the language starts to change, which makes your writing faster and which makes it easier. And the professors give you an option whether or not to adapt a new language, kind of, and being able to kind of adapt a new language and think on your toes like a court reporter, with different short forms or different briefs, just makes your writing so much faster. And you don't initially learn this in theory. So it's almost like reteaching yourself something as you're getting higher and higher in the speeds. And sometimes people are resistant to it, or you're unconscious that you're resistant to it because it's not how you initially learn something.
Yeah.
But it's more helpful, and it's the way to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like shortcuts that are the really only way to progress and get things done at a faster speed, at a higher rate of understanding. They're the best way to go.
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit of resistance of learning something new. And I remember the old way. And in court reporting, there's no thinking. It has to go in your ears and shoot out of your fingers onto this machine for real-time reporting. And if there's any hesitation whatsoever, then you're left in the dust, and you cannot be a court reporter or be passing exams at speed if you are having any hesitation whatsoever.
So what's the opposite of hesitation here?
The opposite of hesitation would be just writing what you're hearing, not thinking whatsoever. There should be maybe some mental focus, like a spot on the wall that you could be staring at, or maybe if you close your eyes, there should be nothing else going on in your head. There should be no self-talk as far as, I remember how to write this word, or I used to write it a certain way and now I write it this way, or there shouldn't be any pause for punctuation.
So
when you're writing and listening to the speaker.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you actually close your eyes and type?
You can, yeah.
You can. So it's almost like going into that state of hypnosis a little bit, right?
Exactly. You should kind of have a tunnel vision.
Yeah, yes. Tunnel vision. You're like a processor. You're like literally, you allow yourself to be a processor. You hear and you use your processor, your mind, your brain.
Yes.
That you've practiced many, many hours to be this machine to work through your hands, right?
Right,
okay.
Exactly.
That's very interesting. That seems like an incredible skill to have, you know?
Thank you. Yeah. If you can help me to get there, that'd be fantastic.
Well, I'm gonna help you with everything you just shared. You're helping me. You're actually helping me so I can help you. Everything you have shared, I've made some notes, and we're going to work with these as I use the tools to relax you, and then I'm going to communicate with your unconscious mind. And some of the suggestions that we're going to use today is that you feel the natural motivation, that you make it easy for yourself to practice, and that you feel you do it for yourself, you feel proud of yourself, your family's proud, and what you hear, you allow your mind, your natural processor, work for you through your hands while staying absolutely 100% focused in a tunnel vision, and you choose to complete your work successfully. Therefore, you choose to complete your studies. Studies come easy. So that's what I'm going to be telling you. It's easy to study. You set the time for studying at least an hour a day or more, from anywhere from 1 hour to 2.5 hours. Even if it's 1 hour, your core suggestion here, Kelly, you're satisfied. Because right now you have not been satisfied. 1 hour, no, it's not enough. I gotta do 3. If it's 1 hour, I'm not doing it. We're changing that.
Okay.
Okay? Now you also mentioned, go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to make sure that one of your suggestions, I know you mentioned the tunnel vision. It is very much, I'm glad you said that because I wouldn't have thought that on my own. It is very much like being in a hypnotized state when you're listening to a speaker and you have to get down every single word that's being spoken at a very high rate of speed. it's almost unnatural. However, when I listen to your suggestions through my previous sugar addiction recordings, and you speak about flipping a switch, and I always notice that my hand goes up to flip a switch, yet I'm not listening to or not, focusing on any outside noise or anything that's going on. I live in New York City. It's very busy, so there's a lot of outside noise and things like that. So I need to be able to, when I'm testing and when I'm practicing, have that same focus that I have when I've worked with you in the past, in the previous hypnotism recording, to have that tunnel vision, to have that complete focus and nothing else going on in my head other than...
Yeah. Focus when you study, when you practice, and when you work, right?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. All right. And you have the capability for that. So you are focused, determined, and driven. Focused, determined, and driven. Okay, we're going to work on that.
And I do have the capability, because I wouldn't have come as far as I have now. It's just, obviously, it's gotten harder because it's gotten further. But I've gotten so much further than other people have. And I know giving up is really not an option. And giving up would really only be because of the self-talk, I believe, in my own head.
Yeah.
That I can't do it, or that, it's too hard, or that I don't want to put the time in, that I'd rather do something else. But that's really not the truth. It's just my excuses.
Exactly. And your other suggestion is, I dismiss the distractions. I dismiss the self-talk. The self-talk that has prevented me in the past from completing my studies.
Yes.
Right? The excuses, the self-talk, all of that. You're able to dismiss it, because when it comes in, instead of, oh, okay, let me believe that, let me follow up on that. Yes, I need to cook. Yes, I need to clean a little bit. Let me make a phone call and talk to my mom, or something like that, right? So instead of that, okay, I recognize this self-talk. I recognize this, but you know what? I can do it later.
Yes.
Right now, I choose 1 hour of practice.
Yes.
And I have all the right reasons for doing so. This is my choice. I choose, right? So you are
Yes.
determined to choose that. Okay, great. We're on the right track. We're going to start in a moment. Do you have any questions?
I'm sorry? Any questions?
Anything?
I don't think I have any questions. I think maybe the last thing that I want to just bring up is, and this is specifically for court reporting, just there shouldn't be any thinking whatsoever when I'm listening to a dictation, especially for a test. There shouldn't be any processing. It should just be, even if I don't know how to do something, I shouldn't question myself. It should just come out of my fingers the way that it comes out, and then could always be fixed during transcription after the fact.
That's very good. That's a good point. Thank you for mentioning that. Because it's very similar to performers. When I work with performers, violinists or pianists, if you're performing and if you make a mistake, if you get stuck on that mistake, oh my God, I made a mistake, then you lose your focus. You continue to make mistakes.
Exactly.
But
100%.
Yeah, and if you just make a mistake, okay, no big deal. Let's focus on what's working. Let's focus on the positive. Okay. Next. It's working. I get this. It's working. Because in reality, even when a performer makes a minor mistake, the audience doesn't capture it. The audience doesn't say, oh, they made a mistake. Let me focus on that mistake. The audience already on a second theme, the music that they hear. Wow, I love this. I enjoy this. And this is exactly what you just said. If you made a mistake, don't question yourself. Keep moving. Because then,
I can't freeze.
Yeah, you just keep going, keep doing, focus on your work, and then later on you can correct that mistake, right? After
Exactly.
There you go. We got it. All right, sounds good. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to use a relaxation technique. You're going to be in the state of relaxation, hypnosis. And then I'm going to do two things here. I will guide you into the future where you have completed your studies. You are working, you're making money, your bank account is growing. You can see all of that. You're buying a house, and we're going to excite you with almost like showing a trailer of a movie that you'd like to see, right? If you see a trailer of a movie and it's like, I don't really like it, I don't want to see it. but then you see a trailer that is exciting, it's good, you're like, I'm going to see that movie. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to show that preview of the upcoming chapter. And then the second part is the suggestions. So we're going to focus on the suggestions that we just both outlined. It's your new narrative, your new conversation that you'll have. And part of that conversation is to be focused and determined and driven. And sometimes there's no conversation. That's part of your suggestion. There's no conversation. You're just in it. You just trust your brain and your hands to do the work. That happens after you have studied at least an hour a day. And last thing, if it's an hour a day, so let's say it's from 7 to 18 hours a week, how many months would that be? When will you complete?
It takes at least 7 weeks for a 20 word a minute, which is what I need, jump in speed. 7 weeks, and that's a very focused practice. So 7 weeks of at least an hour a day, or up to, I mean, I'm hoping to do more than an hour. On some days, maybe 2 hours, up to 3 hours on the days that are more open, on the days that I don't have work, on the weekends. I would be able to do that. So
that's 2 months.
I think I could.
2 months, right?
2 months, yeah.
So today is July 21st, and you're talking about end of September, you would be able to complete?
I should be able to at least complete the first part of the course that I'm taking. And then if I continued at that rate, or even started to pass the exams at a certain speed, I move on to the next speed. And whenever I pass a test, which I haven't in a very long time, which I think is part of my self-talk issue, I always get more motivated within myself. So I think that it would even be a shorter amount of time. I think it could possibly be less than 2 months to finish completely this class that I'm in now, because I have to do 20 words a minute higher than what I'm probably at, and then another 20 words a minute, higher, and then the very last class.
So there's this class that you want to complete by the end of September, and then the second class, right?
Yes.
And about the same time for the second class?
By January.
So by January you would complete your second class, and so basically, okay, so that's the ideal, right? Ideal.
Yes,
ideal. And what could it really be? So it's ideal January, it's the earliest, and what's the latest, the deadline?
The latest, I mean, the deadline I would give myself would be a year, but a year to me seems over the top. It's unrealistic, as far as the professors have explained. If you're focused and you're motivated and you're practicing and doing what you need to be doing, what you're supposed to be doing as far as focus, motivation, practice, and testing goes, it shouldn't take a full year to finish these 2 classes. It might take 9 months or so, but I'm hoping to do it in a shorter amount of time, because I know that I'm capable.
Yeah.
I just need the push.
Okay, so 9 months is doable.
Yes.
9 months. Okay. When would you have a job? So let's say you finish everything 9 months from now. Between January and March, you're done, right? When does the job come in?
The job basically comes immediately when you finish court reporting school, because you start an internship with a working full-time reporter, and the last class, most of it it's hands-on, out of the classroom. Basically, how a doctor would be on rotations in a hospital or something, you would be working with a full-time reporter, sitting in real depositions or a courtroom with a professional reporter, and it's on-the-job training, basically.
When do you start making money? You start making money
as soon as you finish and get your certification.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's on the job. The very last class, most of it is on the job training, And then once you get your speed to earn the certificate, you're basically hired right out of the gate because there's an extreme high demand for court reporting right now.
That's great. So by the end of next year, you could already have savings in your account.
Exactly.
Right? That's
yes,
good.
Which is much needed.
Yes, exactly. So that's wonderful. All right, so let's begin.
Okay.
Make sure you're comfortable. Sit down, lay down, uncross your legs, and focus on your breath. And this time, I'd like you to actually keep your eyes open and find a point of focus on the wall or ceiling, whatever you want. And just keep staring, gazing at that spot without moving your muscles. And just notice that your eyelids have a natural tendency to blink. Try to keep them open if you can. Try to keep your eyelids open as much as you can. And as you gaze at the spot right in front of you, without moving your eyes, without moving your eyelids, try to keep them open and notice how your eyelids are blinking naturally. And the harder you try to keep them open, the more you want to close them. And next time when you close your eyes, just keep them closed. And take a deep breath in and breath out. And move your attention into your breath. Imagine that you breathe in into your left side as if there is a circle of breath forming, as if you're breathing into your left side, into your heart. And you breathe out of your right side. So the air goes up, creates a circle of breath, and then goes back into your left. So breathing into your left, breathing out from your right. And as you focus on your breath, all sounds begin to fade away into the distance. Completely fading away. You've already been in that state of relaxation as you've worked previously before and you listen to the audio. You already know how to get into that state of calmness, state of focus. And Kelly, should you have any thoughts that come into your mind, go ahead and push them away completely, further away into the distance. This session is being recorded, so you'll receive a perfect recording that you listen to reinforce the programming you're creating today. So notice your body is relaxed, and notice it is becoming so much more relaxed that even if you try to move your body, you may not want to. And if you try to move your arms or legs, even if you try to lift them, you just couldn't. You just wouldn't want to. You want to keep them where they are, resting comfortably on the surface of your bed. And allow yourself to continue to drift deep within yourself into your powerful mind where all changes are possible. You're going to open up more and more to the powerful programming that will create incredible, magnificent changes in your life. Continue to move deep within yourself. And I'll slowly count in just a few short moments from 200 and down. But before I do that, move your attention into your eyelids for a moment and imagine they're so deeply relaxed. And while keeping them completely closed, as if they're stuck together, as if they're glued together, and try to open them, imagine as if you can't. You may Even raise your eyebrows while trying to open your eyelids, but imagine you just can't open them anymore. They're stuck together. And the more you try to open them, the more you feel that effort in your eyelids, the deeper they relax. So feel that soothing, comforting relaxation spreading throughout your eyelids. So keep them relaxed. Stop trying. Okay. Notice that cool relaxation in your eyelids. And let it move down throughout your face with an energy of comfortable, cool relaxation. Soothing, healing ease, if you will. And send that wave of deep relaxation, that wave of comfortable, cool relaxation all the way down to the tips of your toes through your entire body. 200, drifting deeper and deeper relaxed. You can imagine a number 199 and go deep within. 198, drifting deeper. 197, way down. 196, 195, deep relaxed. 194, drifting deep and down. 193, that's right. 192, and deep relaxed. 190. And as I continue to speak with you, as I continue to talk to you, your inner unconscious is hearing all the suggestions, processing them, and making them part of who and what you are. But to help you with this process, I'd like to ask you to start counting from 190 and down. And after each number, Kelly, say the words deeper relaxed. Like this, 190, deeper relaxed. 189, deeper relaxed. And you don't need to do it out loud. Just use your inner voice and count slowly from 190 and down, saying the words deeper relaxed after each number. That's right. Hear your voice. Count those numbers down as you allow yourself to be conscious of those numbers, unless you feel so very droopy and relaxed and you just want to forget about the numbers and listen to the sound of my voice. That's okay too. It's your choice. If you feel like you can stay absolutely thoughtless, no distractions, stay there. Start with those numbers and continue to count them until you reach a very deeply relaxed state of mind. Whatever the number, deeper relaxed, drift deeper and deeper, and soon they'll fade away into the distance completely. Your mind is open and you are making powerful changes in your life. Incredible changes. In the days ahead, you'll find yourself feeling more excited, more positive about your work and studies. You're feeling more and more motivated by the opportunity of having a steady job, having a job that pays well, a job that almost doesn't feel like a job anymore. It feels easy and natural. It comes to you so easily. So when you go to work as a court reporter, it feels like you're on autopilot. And you're on autopilot, you're listening, you're typing, and your bank account is growing. And you feel good at the end of the day. You feel so proud of yourself. Not only you have completed your school, your studies, your classes, there's only 20% of school to finish, and you did it on your own, with your own willpower, your focus and your drive and your determination. See, in the past you thought it would be hard, it's hard to study, What if I make a mistake? And so on and so forth. But in reality, you've achieved your goal. It's so easy. And there's so many wonderful things that are happening for you. If you're proud of yourself, your husband is proud of you, your family is proud of you. You're making money. And you're setting a beautiful home for your family. A nest for you and your little ones. What a wonderful life you're creating for yourself. So stay with that feeling right now. I know you've let go of the numbers. Embrace that feeling of accomplishment. Embrace that feeling of achievement. You've done it. Congratulations. So I'll count from 1 to 5. And the count of 5, I want you to bring yourself at the end of 2019. Maybe you'll see yourself on the path right now. Almost like a timeline. And here you are. This is July 2019. Imagine yourself lifting up, 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 and flying forward into August and September. You're above that timeline, your journey, your life. You're above that timeline into October, there's fall. And you notice you can see yourself from up above, studying, typing, practicing, studying, passing the exam, the test, and practicing and doing so well. You have the time. You've done it. You take care of your body. You eat healthy. You stay active. You exercise. You feel better and better. Your health gets better. Everything in your life gets better. You feel focused, energetic. And as you've completed your first class at the end of September or so, you feel even more motivated. And now you feel more experienced and faster. Completely new speed you've developed. More focused, more determined. And then you go into your next final class, so motivated. You can see it from all up above. You're going to class, school, typing at home, practicing, doing all the things, feeling good, looking great, looking amazing, and just with a big smile on your face. Go, continue to go, float above that timeline. And here you are, January, February, and March of 2019. You're so close. You're done with school. You graduated. You got your certificate. So imagine, I'm gonna ask you to slow down and land in that timeline. Land in March of 2019, and really right into your body, into your healthy body, and hold that certificate in front of you. And notice what it says. Read it for yourself, out loud within your mind. Feel the pride. You've completed it. You've done it. Jobs are lining up. You're in demand. That's right. Everything is getting better and better. You feel more focused. You feel more proud of yourself. Notice what else is different. At home, maybe you're going out with your husband or your family, and this overall feeling, I did it. I've done it. And they're just so proud of you. And more importantly, you are proud of yourself. I'll count from 1 to 5. On count of 5, I want you to see yourself all the way in December. All the way in December of next year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 December. Busy, working. And you thought that you'd be working so much you won't have time for yourself. You have time for yourself. Even with flexibility. You have time to exercise. You have time to your family, your husband. You have time to plan and organize. You have time to go out and do something fun. Now imagine looking at your bank statement, paper statement, or maybe online as you log in into your bank, and notice your checking account, and notice your savings account, and notice how much money you're able to save at the end of next year. Now don't go too crazy, go too little, be realistic. Even if it's some money that you're able to save. I'm sure you'll have expenses, but notice that cash flow. Notice what's happening. Notice what's in your accounts, and feel the pride. Feel proud of yourself. You have done it. You've accomplished it. You are a great success. And not because I say so, but because it's the nature of your mind to respond in such a perfect way. And more importantly, it's because what you want for yourself. In the days ahead, you'll find yourself feeling focused, determined, and driven. Focused, determined, and driven. You're absolutely set, Kelly. Absolutely set on a simple idea that it's okay to do something. Because the moment you sit down and do something, you accomplish more each time. You are able to push away and dismiss any excuses, any self-talk that has prevented you in the past from doing the studies and the work that you need to do. You're able to recognize those excuses and say, no, done, dismiss. An hour. I'm going to sit down for an hour. I'm going to type. I'm going to practice. I'm going to learn stenography. I'm going to learn the new language. And even if you're on public or subway or whatever you are, you're studying, you're learning that language, you're practicing, you're memorizing. You set the time for studying. This time is now. You feel natural motivation, natural focus. And you are able to focus so profoundly as you type. You can close your eyes and let your fingers work for you. Tunnel vision. No need to worry about any mistakes that you make. You can always correct them later. You focus on the positive. You focus on the good work that you are doing. You are experienced. You succeed every day. You've learned the theory. You're learning the language. You already know so much. You are intelligent, smart, articulate, and you've gone so far up until this point. Just a little more, just that little push, and you're done. So, you push yourself. You are the prime mover of your success. Silently and forcefully within yourself, with your own voice, say to yourself, I am the prime mover of my success. I choose to complete my studies. Every day I spend at least 1 hour practicing. In reality, it becomes more and more. I am motivated to complete my studies. Silently repeat that to yourself. I am focused, determined, and driven. I stay super focused when I study and practice. I choose to practice daily. I want to practice. I remove all and any resistance. I want to practice. I want to study. I have completed my studies. So feel the power, feel the energy of success within your mind, your body, your experience. Feel the excitement in your body, feel the excitement in your heart. Sometimes you'll feel like you truly want to sit down and practice. Those days when you thought it was a chore, it was hard, are gone. They're a thing of the past. It's easier for you. You have a tunnel vision. You are focused. And you succeed every day. As you train your muscle memory, as you learn the language, as you practice that language daily, succeeding and daily. And as I slowly count from 1 up to 5, on the count of 5, you can open your eyes, feeling empowered, feeling excited and energized, as if you took a good nap and the batteries got recharged. So much fuel to move forward, to complete your amazing work and studies. 1, feeling good all the way around, the energy is coming back into each and every part of your body. 2, feeling refreshed. 3 and 4, eyelids refreshed. And 5, at your own pace, Kelly, when you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. And you can stretch, move your feet, move your head from side to side. And as you come back right here, right now, doing good all the way around. How are you doing?
Great. Very good.
So what's your plan for this coming week?
This coming week, I am going to continue to meal prep and continue to eat healthy and not let that take over my entire day and my entire mind, and move on to being able to practice and being able to focus on schoolwork in a more committed and motivated way.
So you got your audio, I'll send it to you. It's about 20 minutes. Listen to it. Hypnosis works wonderfully with repetition, so you can listen to it now, if you can, every other day, and really until the rest of the year, you can listen to it until September, once or twice a week.
Okay.
All right. So why don't we speak a week from now, just to catch up, to follow up on everything, because I want to hear how things are going. If you have any questions, you can always email me and reach out to me at any time. You have my support, okay?
Great.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Elena.
You're welcome. Just hang in there.
Take care.
One second.
Thank you.
Well, this concludes today's episode. And if you are interested in a session information, please visit alphamindmethod.com. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube series so you can be up to date when we are coming live. And also, if you are interested in being part of the show, you can send us a message. Go to alphamindmethod.com, go to contact page, and choose an option, AlphaMind Hypnosis and Coaching YouTube series. Send me a message and let me know why you want to be part of the show, what you'd like to work on, and you will receive a complimentary session to be part of the show. So what a wonderful thing. I'm excited to hear about what you want to work on and also potentially working with you. Now, I have a special gift for our audience. 3 complimentary self-hypnosis audios for stress management. And you can get this audios again if you go to my website, alphamindmethod.com, and simply sign up for a newsletter. That's all you need to do. So I'm really thankful for you joining us today, watching this episode, and until next time, bye-bye.